Welcome to Be Careful, Don't Get Murdered. Okay, William Balfour, he had served 7 years in prison at the Department of Corrections in Chicago for attempted murder and other charges. He was 5'7". He was scrawny at the time, street thug from the south side of Chicago in Inglewood. He knew Julia Hudson as childhood friends and neighborhood friends. But when he came out, he was buff, and he ended up getting the street name Flex. Also a ladies' man, Julia Hudson found him attractive. She was now a single mom with a 5-year-old son. She was working at Burger King, and so was her 16-year-old sister, Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson was known at Burger King as having a beautiful voice, always singing. Everyone thought she had a bright future ahead of her. Now, Julia and William Balfour, their relationship is moving fast. No one in the family liked him. Jennifer Hudson, her sister, didn't like him. Their mother didn't like him. Their brother didn't like him. In Inglewood, in a family home, Jennifer Hudson's mom lived there. Jennifer Hudson's brother still lived at home as an adult. Jennifer Hudson's sister Julia lived at home along with her 5-year-old son she was raising alone. After Jennifer Hudson left Burger King, she got a job on a cruise ship. She liked acting as well. She got a job acting in little skits on the cruise ship. She also got a job singing on the cruise ship. The relationship between Julia and William Balfour moved very fast. The family was not happy about that. Soon it became very volatile. William Balfour, let me give you a little bit on his background. He never really had any parents that cared about him. I doubt if he even knew his father. But no one was there for him as a child, so he ran the streets, became the South Side thug. The Hudsons, they worry about this new addition to the family. Julia moved him in with her son, her 5-year-old son, with her mother and her brother. As time went on, William Balfour became more and more jealous. He was actually jealous of Julia's relationship with her little boy. He had never known a relationship between a mother and a son. So he became very jealous, threatening, and even when Julia was at work, she's at another job now, she was always being called by him on the telephone, being accused that she was cheating when she was at work. Arguments ensued all the time. Tension was in the house all the time between the mother, the brother, and Julia. In the meantime, Jennifer Hudson is now off of the cruise ship singing and acting. She is now on her way to Atlanta to try out for American Idol. She made it. She made it through the auditions, and she became the seventh person in place of that show before she was eliminated. Then, as time goes on, there's more and more tension every day in the home. William Balfour is constantly threatening Julia Hudson, and neighbors would tell how they heard them arguing all the time. Neighbors would say that they would see them out in the street arguing. People said they even seen them in parks arguing. He was always jealous of Julia's little boy. Now, Jennifer called She called her nephew her little tug-a-bear. They loved her only son, Julian. They loved him. He was known as Dr. King because he loved to read books. Jennifer's mom called him her little juice box. Again, William Balfour is totally jealous, and his inner demons began to get the best of him because this family was so close and they loved one another. By now, Jennifer Hudson's dreams are beginning to come true. She's cast for Dreamgirls. She was cast as just another singer, one of the girls as a singer in the movie. Remember, Beyonce was supposed to have been the star. Jamie Foxx was also starred in the movie. But all of a sudden, Jennifer Hudson is the one who became the breakout star in Dreamgirls, ending up getting an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Her career was booming. She became the pride of South Chicago. Jennifer began buying her sister Julia gifts, her mom gifts, her brother cars, her nephew gifts all the time. Now arguments have really begun because William Balfour was not able to give Julia Hudson the things that he always wanted to give her, but her sister was giving them to her. He wasn't getting any gifts. Oddly enough, if you look them up, when Jennifer Hudson got her Academy Award, her trophy, there's a picture that she took with William Balfour. It wasn't there at the Academy Awards. It must have been at the home. But he actually was in that picture. But now, deep down inside, he was jealous, and he was mad, and he was envious. Jennifer tried her best to get her mother to move out of the South Side Chicago home in Inglewood. She wanted her mother to have a beautiful home, and she was able to now provide it for her and help her. Her mother was more intent on staying on the South Side of Chicago. This is where she had been. This was her home. She loved her community. She believed in her community. She loved her church people. So she wouldn't leave. And she was just listening to and being involved in so many of the arguments that William Balfour was ensuing in the home. The brother would step in. There would be fights and arguments between the brother and William Balfour. William threatened the entire family with death. Because of that, he got kicked out and he was on his own, in the streets. While he's in the streets, he became so obsessed with Julia, he would ask neighbors if they saw Julia with other men. Meantime, he had gotten another girlfriend. But he would be seen peeking in the windows, in the bedroom windows of Julia's bedroom at the house at night. He saw everything around him as a rejection. He told people in the neighborhood that he was going to kill Julia's family. Julia, for some reason, which I don't understand, never took his threats seriously. It was a fatal mistake. A fatal mistake to not take his threats seriously. 2008, in late fall, someone breaks into the house. Someone steals Jennifer Hudson's brother, Jason Hudson's gun. He had a .45 caliber, and someone stole the keys to the car. He had a big SUV. Jennifer had begged her mom to leave. Still, her mother would not leave. She remained. It was a fatal mistake. October 24th, Julia was at home. William Balfour, she let him in the house. He had knocked on her bedroom window, and she let him in. When she went and took him into her bedroom at the house, he saw flowers and balloons. He got enraged. They were from her new boyfriend as a Sweeties Day gift. They celebrate what's called Sweeties Day in Chicago and Detroit, for those of you who don't know. It's not known everywhere. It's in October. He got enraged when he saw the flowers and the balloons. He began telling her that he was going to kill her. People heard them arguing. Julia had to go to work. Still not taking him seriously, she made him leave, and she left for work. Julia comes home from work later that day, goes into her house. She finds her mother dead, her brother dead. She ran out the house screaming, hollering. They called 911. Her son was missing. Her baby was missing. Her 7-year-old baby boy was missing. An Amber Alert went out to find Julian, her baby boy. Balfour was looked for because he was the prime suspect of this, since he had threatened the family. Balfour was finally found at his new girlfriend's house. All his clothes in the interrogation room at the police station were taken off for evidence. They wanted to test every bit of his clothes, including his underwear. He was given a gown. He said that he was nowhere near their house, that once Julia had put him out when she was on her way to work, he went on about his business, took a bus, and then took the subway train to his girlfriend's house. The police went and researched and investigated and found he was never seen on any tapes. You know, they have outside cameras around businesses, around the subways, at bus stops. He was never seen at any of those places. The little boy was not found. Everyone is in an uproar looking for him. Julia Hudson actually got on TV and begged for her son's return, whoever had him. The white SUV that belonged to Julia's brother was not found anywhere. Eventually, Jennifer and Julia had to go identify the mother and the brother's bodies. Jennifer Hudson posted a $100,000 reward for her nephew, for the return of her nephew. William Balfour kept lying until the police told him he was not seen on any tapes, any surveillance videos outside. He never got on a subway train. He never got on a bus. They took his cell phone and pinged where he was, and his whereabouts were right there at the neighborhood of Jennifer Hudson's family home. Jennifer Hudson's mother was shot twice in the head, execution style, in the house. She was found laying on her face. Her brother was found shot in his bed. He must have been asleep when they killed him. Now there's a search for the SUV. They were only able to hold William Balfour at that time because there was no DNA on him found on his clothes to show that he had been in that house with blood splatter or anything like that. There was no gun found. They had to hold him on a parole violation. And during that time, the police diligently got on the case, looking for everything. They ended up, a man identified and called the police that he saw a white SUV parked in a neighborhood. Police went to that car. They got inside of the car. There was a shower curtain on the back floor of the car. They raised it up. Unfortunately, little Jason, 7 years old, was shot twice in the head, execution style, and his body was up underneath that shower curtain in the back of a car and had been there for 2 days. On December 1st, 2008, William Balfour was arrested for the triple murder and lots of other things: kidnapping, stealing the car, threats, all types of things. He never told how he did it, why he did it. He kept saying that he did not do it. Thank God, a jury came back 18 hours later, finding him guilty, he got 3 life sentences. This is the murder of Jennifer Hudson's immediate family, mother, nephew, and brother. What a tragedy. Jennifer Hudson, for an update, is now about to start filming. She is going to play the life story of Queen Aretha Franklin, and no other person could play it better. No other voice could sound like Aretha's. One other murder. A man walks into the police station. His name is Aldit Das. His wife is Amba. They are from eastern India, the state of West Bengal. He walked into a police station with his wife's head in a bag. Police could not believe it. They went to his house. They detained him. They found the rest of the body that was headless. He had killed her last Sunday night. This is 2019. He thought his wife was having a relationship with their neighbor. September of 2018, another beheading in India. A man walked in the police station with his wife's head. He caught her at home in bed with the man. He walked 13 miles to the police station in India. They have a videotape of him telling police his wife cheated on him, and he caught her red-handed, and it went viral on social media. You can actually find it. What's up with the people in India cutting off their wives' heads? Now, this is even worse. This is in Houston, Texas. There's a cannibal killer. He slaughtered and ate 23 pizza delivery men. He ate 6 Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not laughing. It's because of how crazy it is. And he ate 2 postmen. In the past 10 years, he's done this. The Houston man's name is Ivan Yanakovsky. He's 56 years old. 31 people had been missing in his area. Neighbors decided to call police because they kept hearing chainsaw noises late at night and saw him at taking out the trash, and he'd have on bloody clothes. Police responded to his home. They caught him in the garage actually butchering dead bodies and preparing what police described as large quantities of ground meat mixed in with blended spices. He eventually admitted to preying on unsuspecting delivery men from local restaurants, several postmen, and even Jehovah's Witnesses. Neighbors said he would invite them over to his house all the time to watch football. He had large barbecues for everybody, serving hamburgers. His 93-year-old mother lived with him, and he actually rented out the basement room to a University of Houston student to blend with the community and not arouse suspicion to any of his neighbors as to who he really was. He was actually in charge of organizing the yearly spaghetti dinner fundraiser for the past 5 years, and he volunteered at the Houston YMCA. When interrogated by Houston police, he showed some remorse. He said he was remorseful about killing delivery men when he'd order his pizzas. And he said he was sorry he killed some postmen, his mailman. He said they were just doing their jobs. He said Jehovah's Witness people really annoyed him. If convicted, he faced a maximum sentence of 2,675 years in prison. He was convicted just this year, and he has that lifetime sentence where he will never ever get out. Can you imagine how many people were eating the people that he was killing? How many people were eating the mailman, the Jehovah's Witness people who had knocked on the door, the pizza delivery people? Because this guy was setting up barbecues. He was in charge of the spaghetti fundraiser in the community. They were eating people all that time. This is in Houston, Texas. What is happening to the world? But it's intriguing knowing these kind of people are out here. We're actually walking past people who you don't even know what's actually going on. Listen, you guys, be careful. Don't get murdered.